Most people are familiar with blue domes and bright whitewashed homes that jut out over Santorini's blue seas. But there's plenty more to explore on this Greek island, including a place believed to be the lost city of Atlantis. Over 3,000 years ago, a huge volcanic eruption devastated Santorini. The middle of the island disappeared deep into the ocean and left a massive caldera, crater, in the cliffs, so make a trip to the Minoan ruins of Akrotiri and head west to visit Akrotiri Lighthouse for spectacular views. If you're there for a few days and packed decent walking shoes, it's also worth making the short hop to Nea Kameni Island for amazing hikes in dramatic volcanic landscapes. But trips to any of the Greek islands are a mix of history, culture, and of course food and drink. Take a wander around the pretty streets of Phyra and Oia for saganaki, fried cheese and phyllo pastry, covered in honey, moussaka, spanakopita, with a glass of local beer or wine as the sun comes down over the Aegean Sea. When it comes to rugged island escapes, Scotland more than holds its own among others in Europe. The Isle of Skye is the largest of the Inner Hebrides, an archipelago of over 40 islands off the west coast of Scotland, and it's full of stunning scenery, interesting wildlife, and plenty of whiskey. If you want to avoid crowds, head to the Fairy Glen, high above the village of Uig, where a landslip created a pretty magical landscape. For sweeping views of Skye's coast, visit Kiltrock and Melt Falls. The craggy Old Man of Storr is another of the Isle of Skye's iconic sites, but it's very popular, so choose your time wisely if you want to avoid crowds. You can also hang out with some Hebridean alpacas, and sip Highland single malt at the Talisker and Torabeg or Rosse distilleries for a drink with an incredible view. Daytrippers often go to Utrecht from Amsterdam, but there's plenty of reasons to visit for longer. It's less crowded for a start. The city is over 2,000 years old. The Romans built a fortress at what is now Dom Square, and buildings from the Middle Ages still stand in the city center. It has all the charming Dutch canals of the capital, and according to travel search engine GoEuro, it's the most beautiful canal city in Europe. As well as canal-side wandering, Utrecht also has Gothic architecture, pretty streets, and great cafes, restaurants, and bars. Summer and autumn are great for a mini-trip if you like festivals including Ultrasonic in July, and the Netherlands Film Festival and Bokbier Festival. Daytrippers often go to Utrecht from Amsterdam, but there's plenty of reasons to visit for longer. It's less crowded for a start. The city is over 2,000 years old. The Romans built a fortress at what is now Dom Square, and buildings from the Middle Ages still stand in the city center. It has all the charming Dutch canals of the capital, and according to travel search engine GoEuro, it's the most beautiful canal city in Europe. As well as canal-side wandering, Utrecht also has Gothic architecture, pretty streets, and great cafes, restaurants, and bars. Summer and autumn are great for a mini-trip if you like festivals including Ultrasonic in July, and the Netherlands Film Festival and Bokbier Festival, and the music festival Le Guess Who? In November. Utrecht comes in at 9 in our best places in Europe to visit Guide Point 5.
Sintra is a beautiful, historic town nestled in the breezy mountains of Serra da Sintra in Portugal. It's only a 40-minute train ride from Lisbon, so it's easy to do as a day trip if you're visiting the capital too. Sintra is perfect for an escape when you're pushed for time. You can explore lush forests, colorful palaces, the ruins of a Moorish castle, and ancient wells. It's worth taking a midweek trip to avoid crowds, particularly at the brightly colored and huge Palacio de Pena, which is the main tourist draw. Another of Sintra's regal buildings in the ruins of the Castelo dos Moros, Castle of the Moors, where you can stop around the ancient ramparts high above the town for some pretty spectacular views. The Quinta da Regueira Palace and Gardens is a sprawling private estate with a massive Gothic house. But if you only have time to visit one part, make it the Initiation Well. The spiraling 88 feet deep Initiation Well, which descends down into a tunnel system and was used for Masonic initiation ceremonies. Sintra ranks number 5 in our top 50 best places in Europe to visit. When it comes to natural beauty in Europe, Norway really delivers. As well as Svalbard, the country is also home to the stunning Lofoten Islands, an archipelago of 7 islands. Lofoten is a certified sustainable destination and is worth visiting for Viking history, unspoiled landscapes, witnessing the northern lights and even surfing. It has a milder climate than other places with the same latitude, thanks to the warmth of the Gulf Stream, and if you come in the summer months, you'll experience the midnight sun. Definitely a place for outdoor types, Lofoten is a haven for hiking, climbing, kayaking, cycling and skiing. To be honest, we could easily just say Iceland and leave it at that. All of it is pretty spectacular. But if you're looking for an alternative to the touristy hotspots like the Golden Circle and the Blue Lagoon, then make a trip to Westfjords. They're lesser known and visited than other parts of the country because they're vast, and far away from the major destinations like Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, Lake Mývatn, yes, as featured on Game of Thrones, and the aforementioned Golden Circle. So why trek to Westfjords? Well, it's sparsely populated, remote and has different landscapes to a lot of Iceland. It is very rugged and dramatic, and you'll need a car to get around, but it's worth it, and it's about 107 miles drive from Reykjavik. Once you're there, you'll be able to visit the little-known Dynjandi waterfall and the pink sand beach Rauðasandur, and you see puffins on the cliffs at Latrábjarg. It's also a great place to see the Arctic fox and go seal watching and whale watching. Plan your visit carefully though. Heavy snowfall means it's not really accessible in the winter, so the best times to go are May to October. Although technically part of Portugal, the Azores Islands seem like a world away from the mainland. The remote archipelago of volcanic islands sits in the mid-Atlantic, and is often described as the Hawaii of Europe. And with rugged landscapes and deep blue waters, it's not hard to see why, although its temperatures are subtropical and milder. This is ideal if you need to get away from city heat in the summer. The Azores is a place to escape into natural beauty, and it's home to two of Portugal's 15 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the historic city of Angra do Heroísmo on the island of Terceira and the ancient vineyards of Pico. If you're short on time and aren't sure where to start, the largest and most accessible of the islands is São Miguel. It's filled with spectacular volcanic landscapes, hot springs, hiking trails, beautiful lakes, and is the #1 destination for whale and dolphin watching in Europe. After a full-on day of exploring, you can feast on cheap petiscos, Portuguese tapas. Meat and seafood are on the menu in most places, but veggies and vegans should check out plant-based Rotas de Ilha Verde. Looking for more reasons to go? The Azores is the first archipelago given the EarthCheck certificate for sustainability. The Azores ranks #2 in our top 50 best places in Europe to visit. Even if you're someone who loves a winter getaway, chances are you've never traveled anywhere quite so far north as Svalbard, an archipelago of 9 islands between mainland Norway and the North Pole. But if you've ever dreamt about visiting the Arctic, then a trip to Svalbard is the best place to go. A short flight from Tromsø or Oslo will take you to Longyearbyen, the largest settlement on Svalbard and where your Arctic adventures will begin. People come from all over the world to explore the rugged natural beauty, go to ethical wildlife watching to see polar bears, whales, and walruses, and go hiking. And there's always plenty of time to stop for a nice cold beer at the northernmost brewery in the world. From snow-capped mountains and stunning fjords to spooky former Soviet mining towns, Svalbard one of the most fascinating places on Earth, not just Europe. If you are interested in visiting Svalbard, please don't forget to take a look at Secret Atlas's expedition microcruises. With only 12 guests on board our ships, we provide an intimate, authentic and sustainable way to explore this remote and untamed region. Although technically part of Portugal, the Azores Islands seem like a world away from the mainland. The remote archipelago of volcanic islands sits in the mid-Atlantic, and is often described as the Hawaii of Europe. And with rugged landscapes and deep blue waters, it's not hard to see why, although its temperatures are subtropical and milder. This is ideal if you need to get away from city heat in the summer. The Azores is a place to escape into natural beauty, and it's home to 2 of Portugal's 15 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the historic city of Angra do Heroísmo on the island of Terceira and the ancient vineyards of Pico. If you're short on time and aren't sure where to start, the largest and most accessible of the islands is São Miguel. It's filled with spectacular volcanic landscapes, hot springs, hiking trails, beautiful lakes, and is the #1 destination for whale and dolphin watching in Europe. After a full-on day of exploring, you can feast on cheap petiscos, Portuguese tapas. Meat and seafood are on the menu in most places, but veggies and vegans should check out plant-based Rotas de Ilha Verde. Looking for more reasons to go? The Azores is the first archipelago given the EarthCheck certificate for sustainability. The Azores ranks #2 in our top 50 best places in Europe to visit.
It's probably no surprise that we like islands around here. And the Faroe Islands is a destination Secret Atlas guests would have a great time exploring. Technically part of Denmark, although self-governing, it's an archipelago of 18 islands in the Atlantic Ocean, that sit between Scotland, Norway and Iceland, and you can fly there from Edinburgh, Reykjavik, or Bergen in Norway. This is one trip that will need a bit more planning than a lot of European holidays, especially as there are only a few hotels, B&Bs, and private rentals to choose from. The Faroe Islands are for adventurous travelers. The weather patterns vary a lot, due to both the warmth of the Gulf Stream and the icy Arctic waters. Like Svalbard, it's worth visiting for rugged, untamed natural beauty, amazing hiking trails, huge mountains, and craggy bird cliffs and black sandy beaches. You can go kayaking to the impressive Dragonair sea stacks, spot puffins at Mykines, and go horse riding around the capital Tórshavn. And if you're tired from all of that exploring, you can unwind at a heimablidni, which is Faroese for homegrown hospitality, so you can enjoy a cozy fish and chip supper in a remote, 19th century home. The Faroe Islands come in at 7 in our best places in Europe to visit guide.